Yes, sir.
Yeah, because of some technical problem we are late, you know. So I was waiting here last 15 minutes. So just now it is all right. So now today our topic is intracranial complications of chronic superiority otitis media. So pathway of a spread, intracranial complication, bone erosion, thrombophlebitis through normal anatomical pathways, through non-anatomical bony defect caused by trauma, accidental or surgical, or by neoplastic erosion, through other surgical defects, post-stapedectomy, into brain tissue along the peri-arteriolar space of Virchow-Robin. So this is the pathway of spreads of intracranial complication. So it is very important. So next slide is, it is a diagram of spread of thrombophlebitis. You look in the diagram. In above, it is a thrombophlebitis, erosion of bone by granulation tissues. You looking in the diagram, and performed pathway fracture line in the tegment. The factors influencing the development of complications are patient's attributes, age, immune state, intercurrent chronic disease, bacterial attributes, virulence, sensitivity to antibiotics, anatomic pathways and barrier to spread, and drainage of the pneumonatic space, natural and surgical, and efficacy of the treatment of underlying middle ear disease. So this is the factors influencing the development of complications. So next slide is extradural abscess. So extradural abscess, this is the complications. The epidural space is a potential space, durameter and bone of the intracranial cavity. Infections here usually manifest granulation tissue that is in direct continuity with the superiority process. Yes. Any problem? Accumulation of pus are rare. A middle ear fossa abscess can sometimes form a sizable mass with recurrent intracranial complications. And to the skull, to the exterior, produce a subperiosteal abscess, spots of tumor. This is the extradural abscess. Can sometimes extend to petrous apex, producing the Charcot syndrome, and posterior extension around the sigmoid sinus. Posterior extension around the sigmoid sinus produce a sigmoid sinus Yes? Yes? क्या आवाज होगी? इस साउंड में होगी सर। क्या प्रॉब्लम था?
माइक अन भयो कि
हाँ?
तपाईहरुको माइक अफ गर्नु ल तपाईहरुको माइक अफ गर्नु ल यहाँ अमित कुमार शाह
क्या? So now the clinical patterns depend upon the size, site, duration, and rate of development of abscess. So you look in the diagram, dura, tegmen, perisinus abscess, and lateral sinus. So another diagram, it is showing in the CT scan, extradural abscess, extradural abscess, and subperiosteal abscess. And another diagram is abscess, superior petrosal sinus, nerve 5th, nerve 6th, nerve 9, 10, and 11. Now the management of the extradural abscess. If suspicions of dural inflammations and indications for surgical exploration, and enough bones should be removed for an area of healthy dura to be exposed all the way around the diseased portion, and granulation tissue attached to the dura should not be disturbed. An appropriate antibiotic is mandatory. So this is the management of extradural abscess. So now the another complication is subdural empyema. It is a collection of pus, dura mater and the attached matter. It is a potential space divided into the several large compartments which are anatomically confined by developing, can quickly evolve into fetal mass, and predominant organisms are Streptococcus and Haemophilus influenza type B. So you look otitis media, erosion of tegmen, erosion of dura, and infection in subdural space, expanding mass lesion, and otitis media, brain abscess rupture, and thrombophlebitis. So these are the diagrams, the complications of otitis media. So look at the another diagram, subdural abscess and compressed brain. So CT scan showing the subdural abscess in middle ear fossa And clinical features are severe headache, abrupt onset fever, vomiting, drowsiness, followed by focal neurological deficit. The course is very rapid. MRI is the imaging modality of choice. Management, it is a surgical emergency. Emergency drainage with high dose intravenous antibiotic is the treatment of choice. Once the patient is established neurologically, the underlying ear disease can be managed. So this is the management of empyema. So now the third complication is lateral sinus thrombophlebitis. So you look in the diagram, first acute otitis media, chronic otitis media, and these two, erosion of the bone covering the sigmoid sinus, and immune status of the host, perisinus abscess inflammations, inflammations of outer wall, inflammations of intima, and mural thrombosis, and mural thrombus propagate, enhancing renin, and platelet, RBC, fibrin, WBC adhere to the inflamed area, and this is the lateral sinus thrombophlebitis. So look, inflammation outer dura wall, mural thrombus, occluded thrombus, and central breakdown to form the abscess, and propagating thrombus. So beta hemolytic streptococci was the most common organism. Associated more recently, culture have revealed a mixed flora, including bacteriotes, Streptococcus gram-negative, and Proteus pseudomonas has also been cultured. Clinical features are high-grade fever having peaked appearance or high-grade without returning of baseline. Patient is toxic, restless, and otalgia. Otaria is a foul-smelling blood stain. Neck stiffness, papilledoma are usual finding. There may be anemia and emaciation. So these are the causative organism and the clinical features of this disease. And the signs are proptosis, ptosis, chemosis, ophthalmoplegia, cavernous sinus thrombosis, tenderness and edema about the mastoid, pathogenic or suppurative thrombophlebitis of sigmoid sinus, and reflect thrombosis of mastoid emissary vein, previous inflammations around jugular foramen causes paralysis of the lower third. And propagations of thrombus into the intrajugular vein causes it to become hard, cord-like, and very tender on palpation, resulting in a stiff neck. Lymph nodes along intrajugular vein are enlarged and tender. Involvement of torcular sagittal sinus can result in atic hydrocephalus. Other intracranial complications commonly associated are meningitis and brain abscess. Meningitis and brain abscess are very common. So investigations of the disease, full blood count, blood culture, lumbar puncture, TOBI air test, CT scan, and angiography, MRI. So these are the investigations. You look in the diagram. So now management, operations should be undertaken early in order expose and treat the infected lesion. And before operation, intensive medical treatment must be started. Steroid exploration should be carried out within 2 days. And unless there is a very rapid improvement, complete mastectomy with evacuations of mastoid disease, drainage of perisinus abscess, clot removal along with high dose IV antibiotic is adequate. And intrajugular vein ligation is reserved for a rare case in which septicemia does not respond to initial medications and surgery, and children showing sign of embolizations. So this is the management. So now the another important complication is a meningitis, intracranial meningitis. The commonest intracranial complications can occur in both acute and chronic otitis media, and major organisms are Haemophilus influenza and Streptococcus pneumoniae. And presence of anaerobes suggests intraventricular rupture of the brain abscess and may result from infection spread from the ear via retrograde thrombophlebitis, bone erosion, or performed pathway. So it can develop following trauma to the ear with dural tear and cerebrospinal fluid leak. Can also occur following any middle ear or mastoid. Clinical features, two most constant and early reliable fractures are headache and neck rigidity, malaise, pyrexia, mental periods of drowsiness, adult are seen. And photophobia, vomiting are also features. So these are the clinical features. And as progress, headache and neck rigidity becomes marked, temperature is uniformly raised, Kerning sign and Brudzinski signs can be elicited, and deterioration is marked by alternating delirium at a stupor, passing finally to coma and death. So any focal neurological signs should raise suspicion, subdural or cerebral abscess. Epileptic fits usually do not occur otherwise. Uncomplicated meningitis but can occur in infants. So this is the sign. So management of meningitis. So cerebrospinal fluid study is a cloudy with elevated WBC count low. Glucose and high protein pathogen is identified by Gram stain and confirmed by culture. CT scan is usual to rule out congenital malformations and gives by detail. MRI, acute and adhesion in the basal cistern produce a high signal intensity on T2 weight image and abnormal enhancement with gadolinium. Both CT and MRI can identify a mass effect that could not lead to herniations. PCR have been used to detect bacterial DNA in apparently sterile CSF. So this is the management. So meningitis. So first investigate other sites, nasopharynx, lungs, sinus, immune status, acute otitis media, intravenous antibacterials, resolutions, and meningitis resolved, but complete resolution of acute otitis media, and CT scan, mastoid clear, grommet antibiotic, and mastoid opaque, cortical mastodectomy and antibiotic. In chronic suppurative otitis media, perforation, IV antibacterial, resolutions of meningitis, and elective surgery. If there is a cholesteatoma, then surgery, partial resolution meningitis, and urgent mastoid surgery. So this is the treatment of meningitis. So if deteriorations of failure in response to treatment over 48 hours implies loculated infection in the mastoid, needed surgical drainage, Haemophilus influenza should be target of any regime. Systemic therapy must be continued for at least 10 days after an apparent clinical recovery. And dexamethasone is nowadays considered an unusual adjunctive therapy in the treatment, cause reductions of neurological sequelae, particularly bilateral sensorineural hearing loss. So failure of an adequate response to the antibacterial therapy may be the result of organism resistant to the chosen antibiotic, persistent leakage of infected material to the CSF, presence of previously unidentified other complications, leakage into the CSF from the unrecognized brain abscess. So these are the causes of failure of adequate response. So now another complication is a brain abscess. It is a focal suppurative process within the brain, parenchyma surrounded by region of encephalitis, display a bimodal age distribution with peak in the pediatric age group in the 4th decade, 3 times more common in male. Chronic suppurative otitis media is more likely to cause brain abscesses and occur more common in the temporal lobe. Mortality in antibiotic era is at 25%. So pathophysiology of brain abscess. Polymicrobial culture with a high incidence of anaerobes are reported in virus. Various studies, anaerobic streptococci is the commonest organism. Other include Streptococcus, Staphylococcus, Proteus, Pseudomonas, E. coli, and Klebsiella. Brain abscess can result from a contagious focus of infection, heterogeneous focus from the distant focus, head injury or cranial surgery, and autogenic abscess are often the result of venous thrombophlebitis. So these are the pathophysiology of brain abscess. So a stage of formation of the abscess. Early cerebritis, day 1 to 3 following inclusion. Late cerebritis, localization. Quiescent abscess 4 to 10 days. Early capsule formation, enlargement, manifest abscess 10 to 13 days, and late capsule formations 14 days. So these are the 4 stages of abscess formations. So you look in the diagram, there is showing the brain abscess, pus, dural sinus, subdural space, and dura. You look in the CT scan. And now clinical features of brain abscess. Formation is indicated by the presence of triad, headache, high-grade fever, focal neurological deficit. Patients appear very toxic, drowsy, and complications of deep bony pain can have foul-smelling, creamy otorrhea, and cerebrotemporal sphenoidal abscess. An abscess in dominant hemisphere may cause nominal aphasia. Visual field defect in the form of quadrantic homonymous hemianopia can occur. So these are the clinical features of brain abscess. Upward development effects, facial movement, on the opposite side progress to paralysis, and upper and lower limb. Inward expansion effect, first leg, arm, face. Temporal lobe lesion may result in seizure. And cerebral abscess cause weakness and muscle in coordinations on the same side as lesion. Then dizziness, vomiting can occur. Clinical test reveals ipsilateral ataxia, fast pointing intention, tremor, and dysautonokinesia. A spontaneous nystagmus may be present, coarse and irregular beat to the side of the lesion. Intracranial pressure rates more rapidly with the cerebral abscess. You look in the diagram. This is the acute temporal lobe abscess showing. So now investigations of cerebral abscess. CT scan, most important investigation in the diagnosis of brain abscess. Number 2, MRI can distinguish abscess, capsule edema in normal brain. Carotid arteriography, temporal lobe mass cause upward and medial displacement of middle cranial artery, and lumbar puncture and bore hole needing. So these are 5 points in favor of investigations. To treatment of brain abscess, hospitalizations, high dose antibacterial medications, measure to reduce the steroids, and neurosurgical intervention, drainage through borehole or excision, post anti-epileptic drug, radical mastectomy after the patient is neurologically stable. So these are the treatments of brain abscess. So now another is a otitic hydrocephalus. So it is the rarest complication of infections. Simon described this syndrome characterized by increased intracranial pressures, normal cerebrospinal fluids finding, a spontaneous recovery, and no abscess pathophysiology. So it is a retrograde extension of thrombophlebitis from sigmoid sinus to the upper sagittal sinus. Blockage of arachnoid villi and cerebrospinal fluid decreased absorption, increased secretions, and raised cerebrospinal fluid pressures. Clinical presentation: headache, drowsiness, vomiting, blurring of vision, diplopia are typical symptoms. Papillodoma and sixth nerve palsy are usually evident, and optic nerve atrophy can eventually develop. So if elevated cerebrospinal fluid pressure with normal CSF, biochemistry compromise the classical finding of hydrocephalus. MRI is the imaging modality of choice. Treatment is aimed at reducing the intracranial pressures by use of steroids, diuretics, and hypersomnolar agent. Repeated lumbar puncture has been advocated. Optic sheath compression has been recommended to prevent the optic atrophy. And middle ear infection has to be treated on its own merit. So now other complications are latent mastoiditis, silent otitis media, abnormalities of ossicular chain, sensorineural ring loss, psychological and behavioral changes. So this is the intracranial complications of chronic suppurative otitis media. Okay, thank you.